So this guy makes me ashamed of owning a Rolex.
I don't even know what to say about that.
$21,000. Are you stupid?
Yes, I certainly am.
This is my favorite. You had to tell me what this was actually about.
Oh God.
Boy, Terrence and Philip have done well for themselves.
Yeah, so Terrence and Philip are the South Park Canadians, so they're always depicted as being like just totally ridiculous, and like they have the talking heads that are like,
Terrence, what did the Spanish priest say to the Uranian gynecologist?
I don't know, Philip. What? Where do they come up with this stuff?
What's up, YouTube? Jeff Wybo here, and I'm with Adam Martin back on the channel. You guys probably watched the Omega Rolex video, or was it the Rolex Omega video?
I think it was the Rolex Omega video.
So you guys had a lot of interesting comments about that video, so I wanted to bring Adam back on the channel to explain himself a little bit better, because a lot of you guys wanted to razz him in the comment section, so feel free to razz him in the comment section again today, but he's going to defend himself with the previous comments today and talk a little bit about the why he even bought the Rolex watch himself, and just a little bit of an update from myself. I've been trying to get the new Omega for the new Bond movie, but of course with what's going on in the world right now, they are delaying it all the way till November in Canada right now. So I have my deposit down so they get my free money all the way till November. Kind of sucks because this is a finance channel, but we will push on and we're going to talk all about Rolex today. So you saw the video. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I actually loved watching the video back again. Like, I think what we were talking about made a lot of sense. I purposely, after watching it once, stayed out of the comments. So I think I left a couple of comments at the top. You'll see some of the oldest stuff. But I stopped reading them to give us a chance to sort of get a watch party here and a bit of surprise. I'm assuming there's some issues with people not really realizing that I paid Canadian dollars for this, not American dollars. So right away, that's one of the biggest points I think that will stop some of those comments. But for sure, there was a lot of haters in the comments, which we never worry about, right? Because we're doing fine. Yeah. Like, I'm doing fine today, and whether or not people agree with this decision is completely based on their worldview and experiences. So I guess we should read some comments and see what we think.
So let me, I'm gonna pull up some comments. Well, okay, so one of the first comments was underneath where I wrote, Omega for me, what do you think? And, you know, ND wrote, did he really say he paid 21K for a Hulk? Is he insane? I paid retail for my former Hulk. It's like an 8 to 9K watch. So what do you say to ND there?
Yeah, so I think I actually did respond to this one. All day, if you guys have Hulks or any other Rolexes that are your Submariner model, I will buy them from you at retail price, guaranteed. If you want to sell me a retail priced Hulk, I will 100% buy it, especially if it's in new or mint condition. This thing was brand new when I bought it, sticker still on it. I paid 21K Canadian. And by the way, if you haven't seen the first video, this is a Rolex Submariner. They call it the Hulk. It's one of the more rare subs that you can have because it's the blue bezel and blue dial, or sorry, Jesus, it's the green dial and green bezel. It's called the 116610 LV, and it's one of the most beautiful pieces that I've laid my eyes on, and that's kind of why I have it.
So before I continue to razz you here, why don't you talk a little bit about the why of why you got the watch? You covered it in the other video, but if people are new to this video,
yeah, if you guys are new to this, so I bought this watch obviously for probably double retail price if you're going based on the comments and based on current market value. So I paid about $21,000 for it. And then there was some travel expense and stuff like that involved as well. So I think that's all included really in the 21. But I bought this watch because I'd stared at it for 3 years or so. 3 years ago I was working a desk job, really kind of hating my life, making good money, but I was getting fat and miserable and really sort of not doing well in my relationships. And I sort of made a decision at that point to change my life. And I quit my job sometime around the end of that year and started doing real estate with Jeff Wybo, Matt McKeever, and some of the characters you've probably seen on this channel. And it was at that point that I sort of decided that I wanted more from life. I wanted to be able to achieve goals that otherwise weren't possible. I come from a super blue-collar family, not a lot of money, not a lot of, you know, there's not going to be a major inheritance coming down to me or a business or any kind of things like that. Like, I think my mom makes like 50 grand a year or something, right? So, and she was basically like a single mom for a while. So like, we didn't have a lot of money. But when I decided to change that for myself, it was a big mindset shift. And mindset's sort of the biggest piece that we can change and actually control ourselves. And when I'm staring at this Rolex, I always wanted it because Rolex to me is a brand that signifies quality. They've been around for years and years and years and years and years, and the whole time they've maintained their quality. So this thing's hand assembled. It takes about a year to build one. I think that's brilliant. I think that's beautiful. Absolutely every detail on this watch is flawless and perfect, and that's how they're engineered. That's how they're built. So from the placement of the Rolex along the inside of the bezel to the laser inscripted crown on the 6 o'clock, which you'll never be able to pick up on a camera, but it's there. You probably can't even see it right now with your naked eye. You really have to look or use a loop. To right down to like every single, like literally everything is perfect. And if there's anything that's not perfect on the watch, they just destroy it. So that to me is a big motivator. And for me, when I thought about owning one, I thought of the people that do own them. And the people that own Rolexes are typically fairly successful people. You know, whether or not you like these people, that's another discussion altogether. But almost like, I would honestly say like most successful people at some point in their life will own a Rolex. And it's because of the quality, it's because of the brand power, it's because of the recognition, and it gets you into that club. And ultimately, I wanted to be in a club where anytime I saw somebody with one of these things, I can go up to them and talk to them. It's important to me that that's accessible for me because those are people that I want to do business with, right? And it doesn't mean you need to have a Rolex to do business with somebody, but it's a really great conversation starter. And for me, I'd rather start the conversation on that note with somebody that has, you know, $10,000, $20,000 disposable income to put down on a watch. I mean, it tells time the same as a Timex. Like, let's be real, a Timex maybe is even more accurate because this thing's using automatic movements that get disrupted by shock and things like that. So, you know, it's not about the timekeeping at all. Although the date on this thing has kept me sharp because I write a lot of legal contracts and I almost never know the date because we're basically self-employed, so the date never really matters. We're working all the time. But
that's one thing I noticed. The new Omega doesn't have the date, and my current one does.
It's going to be tough.
So I'm going to be like,
I'm going to tell you right now, it's tough. So, you know, I've always loved watches. I personally get a lot out of them. And the decision to buy this came when I was having pretty much a slow month here. We were sort of transitioning between business models where I was training some of our staff and not really doing the actual activities myself. So at the time, and I think I got burned in the comments for this too. Jeff was sort of mentioning them to me, but I kind of got burned in the comments on the last video too because I didn't have the money to buy the watch when I wanted it. So what I did is I set up my lock screen on my iPhone to be this watch, and every single day, you know, I'm on my phone about 7.5 to 8 hours a day if you listen to Apple's screen time thing. So every single time I opened my phone, I saw the watch. And every single time I saw the watch, I was like, I need to have this. I need to have this right now. And I put on there, I put the watch and then my birthday at the bottom. And I'm actually filming this, is it Friday?
It's
Thursday. I'm sorry, it's Thursday. So in 2 days, it's my birthday. So I would have got the watch in 2 days from now. Instead, I saw one come up in a private Facebook group where they trade a lot of Rolexes. They flip them. So they flip Omegas and Rolex and Patek and APs. So it's just a luxury watch flipping group. And this one came up. It was in beautiful condition. It's brand new. It still had the stickers, box, papers, all that stuff. And the guy was flipping it to me for double the price. I understand this well because we do this all the time with properties. We buy a property that's undervalued or at retail, right? And then flip it because there's demand that makes sense for that, and that's the fair market value. So I was happy to pay that. And what did I do? I immediately started making phone calls. I immediately started generating business. And I secured my interest in the watch actually by borrowing the payment, even though I had already made the money.
It comes out now.
Yeah, no, but I borrowed the money to give myself the security of knowing that it would be there, but I also made 100 plus calls and then made $45,000 that month, right? And then this month I'm at 60,000 and there's 2 more deals potentially that can close. So it's like, is it really a bad financial decision if you decide to spend $21,000 in an item that will always store its wealth? This watch is never going to be worth less than what I paid. It's already gone up in value. From the moment I bought it with probably a few $1,000s of equity built in, and I don't see it going anywhere. And we're talking about this in a time where stock markets are crashing, real estate market is having some really interesting ripples. We're gonna see what happens with that. We don't have a crystal ball, but there might be something interesting there. This to me is a form of stored wealth, but more so it's a motivator. So every day when I put this thing on, and sometimes I decide not to put it on. If I haven't earned it, I'm not gonna put it on. So
I've seen you come down without your Rolex on.
yeah, and it's like I do wear it daily, which I think I'll also get burned in the comments for, because technically I'm depreciating the watch. I've already got a scratch. I scratched it the first second I put it on and went to lunch at the top of the CN Tower in Toronto. And the first thing I was cutting into a fat steak, you know, typical fat cats, and then a bottle of wine, and I reached for something and I felt it check the granite countertop, and I was like, that's the first scratch. But it was a beautiful moment with a beautiful person. I'll never forget that scratch, right? So you just got to move forward on these things. But for me, it's every time I look at this thing, it inspires me. Every time I'm leaving the house and I'm looking at this, it inspires me. Every time somebody's talking to me and I don't agree with what they're saying or what like the outcome is of that conversation, I just watch the seconds go, right? I watch the second hand sweep under that Cyclops and it all washes away. So it honestly inspires me so much more than the money that was spent. Because to me, money in and of itself has no value. Like, I don't really care at all about money. Like, it's a really good tool to have, and I use it and deploy it well, and obviously a lot of our lives are built around creating it, but we're not creating it because we want to hold on to paper. We're creating it so that we can go to bond locations, so we can go to bond events, so like buy cars, do things, right? Things that make us happy. And yes, Rolexes will make you happy. It's real. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy Rolexes, and Rolexes make you happy.
Exactly.
It's a fact. When I look down at this thing, I smile. It's perfect. It's flawless. It's absolutely stunning.
Okay, wow. So
and it's better than the Omega. For sure.
We'll see when the new one comes out.
The new one's gorgeous.
When I get it.
The new one's gorgeous.
Well, so that really helps you guys out to determine Adam's why. And I think now, I don't even know, should we even continue on in the video with the comments?
Well, the comments are going to be easy. Hey, you're overpaid, dude. Blah,
so
blah,
that
blah.
leads us to this great comment from Q something 7 here, KYU7. God, he sounds like a stuck-up wad. Dude, you've gotten sucked into the Rolex hype BS. Rolex artificially creates demand by limiting production, and you got duped. You didn't even have the money to buy it, and the fake crap got you rushing to get the funds to buy it. The entire video just sounds like you've been trying to justify why you spent the money because you know you got suckered. And your lack of knowledge on the watch is apparent and comes across very snobbish.
Yes. So, I'm a snob, of course. I drink Belvedere, I drink Lagavulin. What else do we drink?
You drink the best wines.
I drink the best wines, yeah. Stag's Leap usually. You know, I've always driven sports cars. Today,
you drink whole food, or sorry, you eat whole food. You don't.
It's true. I eat whole
chocolate
foods,
bars.
usually grass-fed and organic. I've always driven sports cars. Today I'm driving a truck, but only because I needed it for the business. Soon that's going to go, and I'll probably buy an Aston. I am not an expert on Swiss-made watches, for sure. I'm certainly not an expert on Rolex. And stuck-up wad, I could probably agree with most of those comments. The only thing that I won't agree with is I'm not trying to justify the purchase because I got duped. I 100% agreed and willingly and knowingly paid double for this thing. And I literally, like that, I didn't lose a second of sleep over that. I actually rushed, there was two of them available and I rushed to pay more. Okay, I literally paid like $3,000 more for the one that still had stickers on it.
It sounds like there's two different types of people. The people that, you know, oh, don't wear this every day, it's going to depreciate.
Yeah.
Versus the person that's like, I don't care, I'll buy another one.
It's already spent.
So,
and I already have, like,
it's like, do I want to get an Aston Martin and keep it in the garage and drive it when the weather's nice 3 times a year?
yeah.
Or
absolutely.
do I want to be like, you know what, I'm just going to use this as my daily drive. I'm going to have this watch and wear it.
Yeah.
And there might be, you know, maybe you guys have salary jobs and you're looking at that. Adam is in a commission-based job, so he can earn more, and this is his motivator. So.
Yeah, so like when I need to have more money, I just grow my top line, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's super simple. And so I think I touched on it pretty good in that last section, but like money to me is useless. Like if you're not going to spend it, what Like, what are you doing with it? It's absolutely useless to just have. So of course we're spending it on intelligent things typically, other than the sports cars, because they just get wrecked in depreciation. But like, we have assets, we have buildings, we have things that we have multiple streams of income, multiple businesses. Okay, so for me, the $21,000 expense, it's not a lot. Now, that's a lot of money, of course, and a lot of you are probably watching this thinking, holy shit, what would I do with $21,000? Probably wouldn't buy a watch.
Yeah,
now,
I'd
that's
use it
fair.
as a down payment.
You got to cover your other bases first. We've bought the buildings, we have the businesses, we have the multiple streams of income. I've covered all my bases. I take care of myself physically, mentally, spiritually, all those other things, and now I can afford to actually go and spend my money that I've already earned on luxury goods because I have the assets and other things to back it up. Right? So that's important. Don't go and spend all of your money on something that's going to be useless. If you have the means to do it and then it creates more wealth for you, probably then it sounds good.
All right, we'll shoot through the next couple here. So this guy makes me ashamed of owning a Rolex.
I don't even know what to say about that.
$21,000. Are you stupid?
Yes, I certainly am.
This is my favorite. You had to tell me what this was actually about.
Oh God.
Boy, Terrence and Philip have done well for themselves.
Yeah, so Terrence and Philip are the South Park Canadians, so they're always depicted as being like just totally ridiculous, and like they have the talking heads that are like just bouncing around. But anyways,
It's hands. What did the Spanish priest say to the Iranian gynecologist?
I don't know, Philip. What? Where do they come up with this stuff? Yes.
Anyone who pays that much over retail really must have more money than sense. I'm a Rolex owner, but $21,000 is insane.
yeah, so I think again a lot of these prices are probably coming across as American. So these are Canadian dollars that I paid, which again is fair market value for this watch right now. I guess the only other thing I would say is I think that there's an inherent want to dislike people like myself or Jeff that have these items. Because of our age. I think that a lot of people work a good significant portion of their life to own something like this, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm not disrespecting these people in any way. I've just decided to compress time, and by compressing time, that means working too, by the way. We work
Every day.
Every
hour.
Like Jeff and I have written contracts after midnight, right? Like, we're up working, doing calls, dealing with
I've come over
clients.
and been like, you're not going to bed. You got 4 offers to write.
Yeah. So
And
like,
it's like 11:30.
it sounds snobbish. It sounds, whatever words you want to use here. But like, we bust our asses off to be able to live the way we live, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Work like nobody else, so that you can live like nobody else.
So assume from your accent. We have accents?
Uh-oh.
I didn't know that. But you mean 21K Canadian.
Okay.
Yes, thank
we
you,
have
Mike.
accents. Mike picked up on our Ontario.
21,000K, A.
Yeah. Although it clearly looks he bought the Hulk for mostly status, it conveys, for mostly the status it conveys and showing off. It is his money, so he can spend it any way he wants, even if he overpays, as long as he is happy.
Aw.
I'm elated. Thank you for understanding me.
No offense, but this guy is off his understanding of market value of Rolex. Not every Rolex holds their value, and it isn't guaranteed the Hulk will triple in value. And those Hulks trade for around 14K all day. So he paid way over retail and gray market value. Did he get confused with a Daytona? Laugh out loud.
Yeah, so 14K American would probably be the standard price for this watch. Also, it's not guaranteed to hold its value. Guys, there's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee that any of our assets are going to hold their values or continue going up. Mm-hmm. That's not the point. I don't care about the value. The money's spent. To me, it's already gone. That's why I wear it every day, right? That's why, like, I'm not hoping to go and sell this watch now for $20,000. I don't care about
Again,
it.
it's the kind of person that's trying to buy it like a stock and like really put it in their drawer and hope it goes
Yeah.
up $1,000 next year.
Yeah.
That's not what you're buying it for, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, yeah, the money is spent, guys. Like, it's already gone. That's why I'm going to wear it every day. And I don't...
All right, if that fell, if you were rock climbing and that fell down the crevasse.
Yeah, just buy another one. Yeah, and again, like, back to my original point, I spent 20, made 45 that month. Mm-hmm. And then next month I'm making 60. Is that all the watch and its magical powers? I don't know. But I'm going to keep believing that it is so that I keep making that kind of money every month.
Exactly. All right, we'll shoot through these. So Shahir, I think you know this guy.
Yep.
I love the abundance mindset.
Boom.
Mike Nowicki, that makes me want to go watch shopping. I'm more of a Patek guy myself though.
Yep, and those will land you probably 20 grand as well.
Danny Godbout, it's nice to hear about other motivating factors. Thanks guys.
Nice. Danny's a real estate guy, I think.
Yeah. You know nothing about watches and are another snob who want to show off with Rolex on your wrist. First of all, I hope you paid 21,000 Canadian or Australian because Hulks cost 15,000 USD. We've covered that. Second of all, it still has very old movement and this year all subs will finally get new hearts. Third, Hulk prices actually are going down. I need help with Adam to read the fourth part here. I'm too hopped up on medicine.
Fourth, this watch does not even have AR coating, and look how clear Omega's crystal is comparing to Hulk. Anyway, I own both Omega and Rolex, and those both are great watches, but do not snobs like you just buy Rolex to show off. Yeah, a large part of this, again, is networking and connectivity for me. I suppose that with the scarcity mindset or with the different outlook on life, that would appear as if it's showing off. For me, it's all about brand power and brand recognition. I'm a personal brand, so you can follow me guys on Instagram. It's Adam JD Martin. You'll see for most of my life on there, I'm showing you real estate successes and failures being key there. But I'm also trying to establish my credibility, right? So having credibility allows you to get more lenders, it allows you to get more partners, it allows you to get more opportunities. And so that this thing is a major networking piece. And I've had several people in our real estate world that are actually extremely successful come up to me and say that me purchasing this inspired them to go do the thing that they've been holding back on and that they're doing, and they're never gonna forget that. So I had an investor come up to me and tell me that he was actually backing out of a luxury property, a luxury purchase on a property that he was looking at because the property land transfer taxes were so high. They were actually the same as the watch. And then he actually just went back to the table and did the deal. And it's going to be a great deal for him, he said. So, you know, when I'm inspiring somebody like that who I've always looked up to, and they remember me now for this maneuver because of how fast I've been able to get to this point in my career, they're never gonna forget that. So instantly I've built a deeper trench with them. I've built better roads in with them and can then therefore potentially do more business with them in the future. So yes, I love showing it off. It's a networking piece. It builds more business for us, right?
Absolutely.
Why own an Omega? You could own a Timex, guys. They're 40 bucks.
This tells me the time too.
Go to Sears.
Absolutely, and I think that got across very well in this video today to let you guys know. So yeah, thank you for everyone that commented on the other video. Feel free to light them up again in this video because we can defend it. It's no problem. You won't hurt our feelings because that's what it's all about. And if you are following this channel, it is about making profit like that and not just buying these items, putting them in a drawer and calling it a day. It's about getting out there, doing more real estate deals so this is just a motivator. It's like going to the gym. It's like having a trainer. This was your trainer, gets you out there to make the phone calls. Like you said, you made 100 phone calls that day after buying that and made 45K, right? So that's what it's all about. We need more motivators in our life. So feel free to hit him up with comments about how snobby he is, but maybe hit him up in the comments and tell him how you're motivated now and what you want. And it can be anything. It could be just you want a day trip with your family this Sunday and you're gonna like work really hard and go out to a hotel as long as it's a safe hotel, right? Keep your social distancing. But really appreciate you guys watching this video right now. If you haven't seen the other video, get back and watch that video as well. But really appreciate you on the channel. Follow this guy on Instagram right now. You're gonna see some crazy stuff from this guy. He posts every single day. And follow myself on Instagram as well, at Jeff Wybo. Really appreciate it, guys. Like and subscribe and watch some other videos and see you guys later. Bye.
See you guys.